right, here's Jamie's work, and all of this looks really good. I'm zeroing in on the top colored version because I feel as though that has a strong value organization, and the color green prevails, which is perhaps related to his theme. I really like those curious stretched out clouds and the cylindrical forms in the distance, but I'm stumped a little bit with the stone fence. I understand the stone okay, and I think it looks good. I even like the moss, but the breaks in the stone fence don't feel like how stone busts up. It's more like how plastic melts. So I'd like you to think about that. And maybe there's another message you're trying to send, for instance, that this is all a sham, that it's not real and it's not stone at all. So here we have Nicholas' work, and as well, it seems as though the green composition is one of great interest. I noticed that one of your classmates, Nicholas, noted that one. I kind of like it because the sky and the buildings are dark and the roadway is bright, which is really giving a feeling of emphasis on the road, almost like it's lit or there are lights to the side. And I like what you did with an alteration of the tunnel itself. That's looking pretty good. Well, here's Callie's work in boys. There are a truckload of it. Let's see. I have noted that the complementary version in the colored sets is a good one. And of course, guys, you may have a favorite, or you may be working on something already. These are just my suggestions. Do as you wish. However, the reason here I'm going for this one is I feel as though the castle is complicated. The block tower is quite complicated, and I like the simplicity of the couple of colors, and because they're complementary, they set each other off. So here's Mike's, and it's kind of nice that he's already selected a title. I put everybody's proposal here so that we could compare what you were after to what you're getting. And of course, there may be an evolution of ideas. Maybe things won't match up exactly. Your work may lead you in a slightly different direction. I chose his color version, letter D, the bottom right one, because I like the unity in that monochromatic arrangement. And I'm not exactly sure what it is that I put there in the bottom left corner. It might be a draft toward the assignment for week 6, but it's pretty interesting because the light source has become more dominant since the blocky forms are now casting shadows. They're cast shadows, and interestingly, their near ends are bluish, almost like some reflected light is giving them a blue color. Well, here's Zane's work, and I've picked out the top right version in color because I can't get over how he switched colors around, giving us a red sky and a turquoise. I think that's a sun, perhaps a moon. And because the water is so brilliant, because it's both intense and light in value, there's a big emphasis on water. Now, Zane and some of the rest of you, I did give some feedback earlier on. I'm not going to repeat that here, but one suggestion I thought might help this particular composition was to try it as a horizontal versus a vertical, sort of squishing it, and maybe letting the lone tree be a little taller. Now, with Christina's, as was mentioned before, I'm voting for the neutral one. I especially like the way that there's a gravity to the figures. I like the fact that there's a little color, but not a lot. There's a slight brownishness. It's kind of like a burnt umber color that we see. Now, as I said before, I'd like to better see what their hands are doing. Presumably they're making baskets or collecting baskets, given the proposal here. Also, I took a look at the site where these piece baskets are pictured, and I thought they have great designs. I don't know, there might be a way of incorporating those types of designs into this. See, anything else? Well, Christine, I'm going to refer you to my other notes for you. For instance, your pathway is not really laying flat. It's kind of popping up. It's not seeming to lay in space. So I think if you had some small scale element toward the rear near the path, it will help us understand what you mean in terms of space. Now, if I recall correctly, someone else was also voting for Paul's blue version, and he was wondering if that looked summery. I think I've got it right there. And sometimes it's not only the colors, surely blues are cool colors, but the combination, the intensity, the value, and here everything is really working nicely. One thing I wanted to suggest was that leaves could be on the far side of the birch tree as well as the near side. So the branch might obscure some of the strands, the floppy branches with leaves. Also, because the waterfall is far away, the blue hill in the right corner seems like it might be in the middle ground, and I wish there was a way for me to know what the relationship between the birch tree's roots and that blue hill is. So here's Tiffany's work. She was having a little bit of trouble with a file that she lost, and so she rebuilt it, as I understand. I'm a fan of that bottom right design, although maybe it needs to be worked out in terms of spacing, centering, and the composition, but I like the different elements. And it looks to me like she wants to have a ribbon. Maybe there would be text on the ribbon. And when I read her statement, I recognize that she's working in Photoshop. But Tiffany, if you can make something in Illustrator, save that file as an AI, you can open that up in Photoshop and combine it with things in Photoshop. So I wanted to encourage you to do that, and I also want to encourage everyone to take advantage of those tutorials. Now, the Illustrator ones are just better because generally Photoshop is used for photography projects. It can work for design too, but most people want to know what to do with it for photo purposes, so the tutorials are geared toward that. So here we have Debbie's work, and I am pointing out the yellow monochromatic colored version, and the multicolored versions are okay, and I just don't really have a preference among those. Any would be all right, but I like the sort of golden quality. It looks as though it's made of gold metal, that yellow one. I like the way that the values work. I know someone, might have been Zane, suggested that Debbie might try cast shadow, and I think that's a great idea. I did post a copy of the voice file saying how to do that, and of course Kelly's been working with cast shadow, so she might be able to help too. Debbie, I noticed in the front left corner, it seems like a little tiny bit of the image is missing, and I want to be sure that you deal with that in your final.